swear I didn't do it. This was just haunted.
This is a cursed episode. Cursed.
My microphone fell. It's unscrewed itself. Get in there.
Get unscrewed
With Kelsey
and Zach.
Hi. Welcome to Coffee and Aliens, the podcast where we're absolutely sure we don't know everything. I am your host, Zach Nui.
And I'm Kelsey Darragh.
Wow, we're both tie-tie, which is hilarious for the theme of this episode, but also, wow, we're tie.
You know, two working women have the right to be tie-tie every once in a while.
It's also the middle of the week, which...
Is it? Some would say it's Thursday.
Oh, wait. See, that's how tie-tie I am.
But can we say that you had a beautiful birthday dinner last night?
I had such a good birthday. I'm 33.
Oh my God. Wait, is this the Jesus year?
Yes. She and I are the same.
Oh, someone's getting crucified soon.
I'm trying to do anal with God. 33 doesn't feel much different.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
You're still in your early 20s. Or early 30s.
Okay, but you've seen those TikToks, right? That are like me watching a 25-year-old do something like when I'm still a 25-year-old adult, but oh God, I'm fucking this up so bad.
You're so tired. You actually just fell asleep mid-sentence. Is it like you think you're old, but you're not old?
No, you think you're young.
But
it's
you're
like,
not.
It's like, yeah, watching a
25-year-old do something you're doing?
But no, okay, I'm really fucking this up. Okay, the joke is that the adult is the TikToker.
Okay.
And they're saying that they're still like a 20-year-old
yes,
doing something.
Yeah, we are. We're all 20.
Yeah, like
especially in LA. You don't have kids.
No.
You're a baby.
But so are you, even though you are arguably the oldest person I know.
That you have ever met. I'm older than your parents.
And
did you know that?
I did.
We went to high school together. I was a senior when they were freshmen.
But if you told me, like, I don't know how to do a 1099, I'd be like,
yeah, of course not.
Of course we don't.
Why would you ever need to know what APR financing means?
We should for sure not get down on ourselves, though, because this generation, I just keep seeing things saying that, like, all benchmarks are bullshit for us.
I'm really glad. I'm happy for that.
Can you talk for 30 seconds while I kick the cat out?
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say kick the cat. Also, I just noticed that Leo has like a sack. Like it's like a lower stomach. That's okay, but Kelsey does this psychotic thing where she shaves her cats without their consent. Oh my God. And this cat has like, it almost looks like two very, very big balls. Like two udders. Oh my God. Kelsey, it's kind of.
Any cat owner knows what it is, the thing I'm talking about. All of them have it.
Okay.
They all have a little baby belly.
Now my cats.
Do you even remember what you did for your 33rd birthday?
No.
Were you still drinking?
Why would you even ask me that? No.
You were done?
Yeah, I got sober when I turned 30.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm going to be 8 years sober.
How old are you?
37.
Wait, okay, then that...
So I definitely wasn't drinking when I was 33.
No, hold on. A hard pause because I forget you're older than me all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Because you're an author and you have your shit together and we're in your two-story house.
No, it's because you don't act like an adult. That's why. And we have a mutual friend. You know what I'm talking about. Our affair buddy.
Oh, yes.
And he and I we're writing the other morning together and he joked. And I'm realizing now it was a joke. Mm-hmm. But in my head, I went, holy fuck, Zach Isler. Because he goes, well, you know, Zach's 39, right? And I went, what? And he went, yeah, he's 39. And I was like, oh my God. And I think he thought I was like going along with the bit. Mm-hmm. But I genuinely, up until this very moment for the last week, have believed you were 39.
39?
Yeah.
Wait, how did the bit end? Or he just left it there?
Yeah.
Does he really think I'm 39?
No, I hope not. He's one of your closest friends.
I haven't heard from him in like 48 hours. I am hoping he's alive.
Is he? Yeah, could he be
when
dead?
do you do that check? Like when someone hasn't responded, how long do you wait before you're like, okay, this is just like a safety check, like making sure you're alive?
If you talk to them every day,
I mean, I feel like we do talk every day.
then you should have done it already.
Okay, don't put this back on me. Don't.
If we find out that he's unwell,
Or that he's drowning in a bowl of ramen noodles.
it's you.
It's me.
It's on you.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Oh my God, I am wearing my Eris t-shirt, but that's not the point.
It's
I had one thing written down for our Bing Bong housekeeping. We also got a little horn. But I told the story last night at my birthday party.
Okay, everyone tuck in. Just tuck in, and this story is so good.
I'm gonna try and do this. I'm taking the mic out of
Taking
the
the
fucking
mic out.
stand.
She just stood up. I'm gonna turn the house lights down.
I want
Get
you
the
all.
spotlight up.
I wish we had bluesy music, like.
It definitely isn't a bluesy music story.
It's definitely bluesy.
Sure.
Okay, confidants. I am currently in the midst of doing my IVF for my egg retrieval.
Egg harvesting.
Egg harvesting. Not because I want to have a child. You'll see content about it, so you'll get all your questions answered there. You have to give yourself shots of hormones to blast up, to roid out your fucking eggs so that the doctor can suck them out.
Do they do it with a straw?
Yeah, he
Like
does it
felching?
with his mouth straight on my puss and goes,
Wow.
like boba. It's like boba. Like so gross. And I have heard horror stories from friends about
How painful.
in it, like how emotional the hormones make you. It makes you like PMS times 1,000. And so I've been really gearing up for this like huge emotional shift, especially it falling on my birthday and da 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 da. So I went to Outside Lands, which is a music festival this past weekend, and I had to give myself my shots there. And
At the festival?
Yeah, it was the first time I had done them.
Oh my God.
And you have to do them the second day of your period or you miss the window. So I had to bring my little refrigerator kit of all my shots up there. And I had the first shot I gave myself was right before Lana Del Rey. And I had butterfly nipple pasties on.
Okay.
And I pulled off all my overalls on in the bathrooms and had like just my nipples, my butterfly nipples out and was giving myself the shots.
Hot.
And women were walking in like very
This heroin girl.
they were like, but you know what's funny? All of them were like, oh my God, are you doing IVF?
No.
All of them. Not a single one thought I was doing drugs.
You're like, no, I'm watching Lana Del Rey. I'm doing
trying to get
heroin.
lit.
Yeah.
So that was very funny and cute. But you guys, I feel like the shots have affected me. Nay, I haven't had very many mood swings.
Were you told that it happens upon the shot or like days after, or do you know?
I think it probably took a couple days to really get in your system. I don't know. But it can make you groggy, fatigued, bloated. You're just like uncomfortable.
Yeah, of course.
It sucks.
Your body's like, what the fuck did you just do to me?
So I was like, I feel like I've been pretty emotionally stable. And then I wasn't. For a brief moment in time.
Go on.
Okay. I'm going to set the stage literally for you. Roman and I. Oh, I said his name. God damn it.
I mean, there is the power of editing, but you don't like
I
to
don't
do that.
edit.
Okay.
Also, by the way, all the Outside Land babies that I met that were confidants and confident bottoms, it was so fun.
Oh.
And there was one girl who, when she asked to take a picture with me, she asked Sir, who I was with, to take a picture of us. And she goes, is this Sir? And it was the first time he was like recognized in public. And it was very funny. And
To that girl, isn't he hot?
he's so hot. Oh, good for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we upgraded our tickets because it was my birthday and all these favors got done for me from my manager who knew people that were performing. And we got to stand in this special section that was right by the stage. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best birthday gift ever. Your girl basically went to this festival to go see the band Odessa, the DJ set Odessa.
Mm-hmm.
they were playing on this stage, and I knew because they were closing out the festival, it was going to be packed. So I tell Sir, I'm like, we have to get there early, even though there's literally nobody in our section because it's like these secret, cool, private club seats. I was like, I don't want to take any fucking chances. So we go to Meg the Stallion, and we decide to stay in our spot. I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm not even risking someone taking this front row spot. This is why I came here. This is all I want to see. I envision myself riding the rail, screaming with my hands up, seeing this DJ set, right? I put my jacket down on the floor. We put our backpacks there, and we're kind of stretching. We're taking some space. We're taking up room. Imagine there's an area the size of, I don't know, fucking 10 yards. That's how big the section was for all you football fans.
Oh, yeah, 3 feet. 10 3 feet.
Sure. And there's no one there for like 2 hours.
But this is a VIP section that you have to like show your bracelet to?
Yeah, you can't just walk in. You have to have a
Okay.
special band.
Great.
And no one's in there for the whole 2 hours between the sets.
Mm-hmm.
We're making friends with the people behind us in the regular admission section, and we're talking to them. And some of them have been there for 12 hours. Like, since the festival opened, they ran to the rail and they did not fucking move. This is a thing that people do at festivals that are obsessed with bands.
Isn't that where you're most likely to be crushed to death?
Yes. But also no, because you can hop the rail and get out first.
Oh, okay.
So it's a thing. People don't pee. They bring diapers. They pee in bottles. They have their friends like rotate spots with them so they can go eat and blah, blah, blah. So I make friends with all of them. And part of our wristbands get free food and drinks.
Wow.
And so I tell these guys in the section behind us, I go, guys, I get free food and drinks. You want me to just walk over here and get some and like pass them out? You guys haven't had water. You look dehydrated. Like, people are passing out. They've been sitting there so long. So we make friends with them. I'm giving out waters. I said this. I was like FEMA after Hurricane Katrina. I was just like, water for you. Water for you. We're all a family now.
Yeah.
So then about like 20 minutes before the show, a couple more people come into our section, and we're like, oh, we've been seeing them all weekend because, you know, we're part of this little club. And we're like, oh, hey, guys. Like, woo, you excited for Odessa? Yay. We still have our little spot in the front rail. Da, 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 da. Zachary, I'm telling you, the shots have affected me none until this moment. I go to help one of our little general admittance people out. He dropped his sunglasses into our section. I said, oh my gosh, this man can't not have his sunglasses. Let me walk right behind, about 10 feet behind me to help this man out with his sunglasses. I go, I pick him up, I turn around, and there is, the only way I can describe her is a feral gutterette monster of a woman.
Well, you can see woman, what age bracket?
40s.
Really?
Like young 40s, old 30s.
Sure.
So like, fuck you, lady.
But
You're
like
an adult.
concert old 30s,
gutter
which
rat.
is rough.
I see her out of my field of vision run up into my spot. Now, Sir is only able to hold one part of this little rail, and this woman comes right in next to him where my stuff is. And I'm like, oh, silly woman, she clearly didn't see my stuff. So I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, excuse me. This is actually my spot. This is my stuff. We've been here for over 2 hours holding this spot. And this is when I knew things were going to go south. She turns to me, kind of like looks me up and down and is like, well, I can scoot over if you want to squeeze in. And I just went, no. This is not how this is going to go.
Yeah, no.
This is my spot.
Yeah.
You're going to move. And
Yeah.
she went, no, I'm not. You weren't here. You weren't standing here. This spot was open. And Sir's like, well, no, I'm holding, there's literally stuff on the ground. Like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, oh, lady, you fool. Get out of my spot.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, like, I was being very cordial. I was like, I'm here for good vibes. I don't want anything nasty to happen.
Right.
Like, why don't you just scoot down? And she's not moving. So I'm like, okay, it's getting kind of close to time. And I'm looking back at my,
Yeah, how much time does this altercation take over?
of the 20 minutes we have left until they go on, 19 minutes.
Really?
So I kind of like turn around. I'm looking at my other section friends, and they're all kind of looking at me, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, hee ha ha. I'm talking to them for a second because I'm like, this lady's clearly just like, let me remove myself for a moment to like regroup because she's going to move.
Shit out of her.
To not beat the shit out of her. And I turn back around, and she's kicking my stuff over, like my bag and my jacket, which she's already stepping on. She's kicking it out of the way so that she can stand there with her stuff. And Zachary,
oh my
banged.
God.
I have never, like, this is where I knew hormones, like pregnant bitches, they could murder a man, and I think they should get off scot-free.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
You are building a life. You are chemically altered in your pancreatic
The baby's
regions.
getting all the sanity.
Dog. I've never lost my shit before.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was drunk, like in a fight or something. I've never soberly lost my shit before. And I walk up to her and I go, I was trying to be fucking nice, but if you want to get fucking nasty, I'll get fucking nasty. And I got like down on her level, and I was talking like this. I was, you want to get fucking nasty? I'll get fucking nasty. And I start literally, Zachary, I start physically harming this woman. I start body checking her with my shoulder like a football player.
Like, get out of my spot.
Pushing her out. Get out of my spot. I'm pushing her. And this woman starts screaming bloody murder like a Karen. Like, help! Help me! This was security! Security runs over to us. They're like, what's going on? And before she can even like get a word in edgewise, because I'm like, this bitch is not about to control the narrative. No. I'm like, you guys have been fucking seeing me here all weekend. Me and the security guards have become homies because every weekend, like, or every night so far at this festival, they've seen us there. We've dapped them up, whatever. I'm like, this fucking bitch, my shit has been here for da-da-da. And she has the audacity to be like, you weren't here. You weren't here. This wasn't your spot. And dude, Zach, I don't know what came over me. I've never yelled at someone like this in public. And I didn't realize that like people had their phones out. People could have been recording.
Yeah.
I could have been like poorly canceled.
Hot girl screams at.
And like gutter rat.
Yeah.
No matter how you spin it, me like body checking her out of the way wasn't going to look good. Even if I was like, no, she was a literal fucking succubus. So long story short, security's like, you have to the lady, you have to move. Like if they were here and like other people in my section were like, to be fair, these are our friends and we don't know who this lady is. And then people from behind us who I've been like Mother Teresa to start being like, no, fuck that bitch.
Yeah, she's a cunt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did drop the C word really good. I did. I just kept saying, why are you being weird? And there's no better way to insult someone than tell them they're being weird.
You're being fucking weird.
Yes. I was like, you're an adult woman right now being so fucking weird. Stop being weird. Like this is the weirdest behavior I've ever seen out of an adult. Yeah. And she was just like, what are you talking about? Anyway, I'm making apple pie out of apples, but she moved and she tried to then apologize. I was not fucking having it. And right before Odessa came on, I like took a deep breath and I centered and aligned with myself. And I said, Kelsey, just apologize to the woman. You did physically harm her, potentially, allegedly. And so I said, hey, lady, listen, before they come on, I just want to clear the air, clear the vibes. And she said, oh my God, okay. I really didn't know it was your spot.
You're a liar. You would not get an apology out of me, especially if she said, I really didn't know it was your spot. Fucking liar.
I told you it was my spot and you pushed my shit out of the way. Anyway, I was like, whatever, vibes. Her name was Kelly. I said, I'm Kelsey. It's cool. We're both here to see Odessa. Let's just like carry on. Here's the icing on the cake, on the birthday cake. Kelly, last minute, is like, oh, there's no one else coming in our section. Like she has all this space. She's like, I'm going to go grab a water real quick. She doesn't say that, but I see that's what she's going to do. When she does that, 2 young teenage girls go stand in her spot and are like, yes, Odessa, we came all the way from Canada. And I'm still like shaking a little bit.
Of course, the adrenaline.
And I just turn to them and I go, hey, you can't stand there. And they're like, what?
We're
no,
in Canada.
This is all we care about. We came all the way down. And I'm like, you don't know what just transpired. There's a woman named Kelly and you're standing in her spot and you can't stand there. Just trust me on this. And they're like, what? Okay. And they kind of like back up a little.
I wish I could see this because it doesn't make sense to me why she was fighting so hard for your spot if there was a spot that would fit two teenage girls very close.
Exactly.
I don't
wanted the best spot. Like think about it at the Taylor Swift concert. If you could have the spot that's like the closest, best version and everyone else has to be behind you, that was like my spot.
Yeah, I guess. But
And-
also,
Yeah.
I would have never told those girls that they couldn't stand there.
Zachary, when I tell you, I feel like all the work I've been doing for the last year since my breakup to change from being like a cunt to
You were never a
person,
cunt, and you are a decent person.
came to fruition in that moment because I said I had a choice: let these girls take Kelly's spot,
Yeah.
or save Kelly's fucking spot.
No, fuck Kelly.
Treat your neighbor as you wish to be treated, Kelly.
No, unless you're a big raging bitch like Kelly, and then in that case, it's all off. It's all off. I will treat people the way I want to be treated, assuming they are going to treat me that way.
And I can tell you, Kelly walked up as I was kicking those girls out of her spot, and she was like, "Did you just save my spot for me?"
Oh my God.
And I went, "Yeah, Kelly, I fucking did. Yeah, I did, Kelly. I saved your spot for you." And then the music started. The opening bass notes hit, and I'm jumping up and down, and Kelly's jumping up and down, and these blonde teenagers from Canada jumping up and down. Sir is horrified.
Yeah, of course.
He's has watched this all go down and had no idea what to do.
Did Sir not at the very beginning tell Kelly she couldn't stand there?
She did. He did.
Okay.
And Kelly didn't care. Kelly was a feminist. She listened to no man.
Kelly needs to fucking
Get
eat
fucked.
a bag of dicks.
Dude,
And I mean gross ones.
Like-
not
like-
good yummy ones.
like in a pair of jeans for a couple days, dick.
God, with a dash of apple cider vinegar.
Ooh, spicy. I'm making this a big thing, but my point is,
No, it is. And it's a story. It's a full story.
I've never, it scared me, the anger that happened. I snapped. You know what that show Snapped?
Yeah.
I snapped.
So I do worry about this, and I think about this sometimes. With all the work we do on ourselves, what if we're not doing the work we think we are? We're just pushing it to a certain space.
Yes.
Well, because this is the thing. I've never been on hormones in my life. I've had thoughts and acted like that, where I go 0 to 100.
And I would say even still, we also don't even allow ourselves to get there because we'll kind of like bypass situations.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just be like,
Remove
I'm
ourselves,
not dealing with that.
Shut down,
And
walk
it's
away.
like, are we doing the work?
Yeah, but like if you were forced to go through it, different story. Don't you? Okay.
Tell me.
Like, what if you had a taser? Would you have tased her?
Oh, for sure. Dude, I was miming my hands around her neck. I was literally like this, like yelling
I think
at her.
Also, you said she was low to the ground and
was
kind of
low,
dense.
short to the
I was gonna
ground.
say, like, you think if you had just put 1 foot behind her and pushed.
Oh, she would have cracked
She
her
would
head
just-
open on
oh.
the concrete behind us.
Oh, it's concrete? Why am I
Yeah.
picturing it all being fields? Is it not in fields?
No, this was so close to the stage that it was concrete.
Oh.
Dude, it was. All I can say is IVF is intense. I better get so many fucking eggs, and if I do, those are gonna be some angry children.
Angry children.
There is nothing but vitriol.
And boy or girl, we're naming them Kelly.
Get this. You know how I wore one of those Aura rings that measures your heart rate? I looked at the monitor and there's
And
a
it spikes?
fucking spike. The same level of spike happened at that moment in the altercation with Kelly as like 18 hours prior when I was headbanging in a mosh pit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyways, this episode will be about emotional labor. Speaking of emotions and
Can't
labor, in just a beat. And we're back. Zach, I said, you sit back, you king, you absolute patriarchal, just number one daddy of this world.
Whoa.
Let me take on the emotional labor of this episode. And I am here to tell you and talk to you
Okay.
about this week's topic, which is emotional labor.
Oh, it sounds emotional labor. I actually don't know anything about it.
What?
I don't think.
Are you fucking with me?
I mean, I've never really tossed that around.
You've never like heard that buzzword in the last like it's on the equivalent of like gaslighting as verbiage used in the lingo these days.
Okay, but emotional labor isn't like I've exuded a lot of emotions over this.
Emotional labor over this.
Yeah, so it's like I've used a lot of emotion.
Oh,
No.
I'm gonna tell you what emotional labor
Okay,
is.
please. Go on.
Okay, so emotional labor at its definition, which, by the way, I'm reading a book that the reason why I wanted to do an episode is because I started listening to Emotional Labor by Rose something or another. Not giving her the
As
credit she
always,
deserves.
a well-researched
Yes,
podcast.
where is it? Nope. There we go.
No.
It's called Emotional Labor. You'll find it.
Okay.
And I listened to the first 10 minutes, and maybe it's because I'm on hormones, but I was enraged again. I was just so mad at the world because of the emotional labor that is put onto women specifically.
Oh, okay.
That I was like, this has to be an episode. So a lot of this research is from this book. Take a listen if you'd like to. But emotional labor described by this woman and the rest of the world is, and I want you to listen to these words, the primordial training.
Okay.
That before anything else, women and girls should edit the expression of their emotions to accommodate and elevate the emotions of others.
Whoa. This is the Barbie message.
This is the fucking Barbie message, bitch. Primordial training that before anything else, women and girls should edit the expression of their emotions to accommodate and elevate the emotions of others. Whew! So where did it come from, Zach? Where did the word emotional labor come from?
Probably like the East Coast.
What?
I don't know. Greece? Latin?
Okay, 40 years ago, a researcher named Arlene Hochschild coined the word to describe, I actually thought this was interesting because it's now often used in relations to emotional relationships, but this word was coined to describe the skill that American workers were required to perform in the service sector as it was exploding and slowly replacing manufacturing jobs. So imagine we went from being just factory workers and laborers, machine, heavy metals, soot on your face, shoveling coal, to jobs like hospitality,
Perfume girl.
Doctors now had to deal with their patients. So the jobs that we used to have in America were no longer unemotive. So now we had employees that were
Front facing.
Taking
on the shoulder of the customer.
Yeah, exactly. Smart boy. So then we had employees that had to change their emotions to provoke happy emotions in their clients, customers, debtors,
The customer's
patients.
always right.
Exactly. There is a quote by Martin Luther King that kind of encapsulates at its core what emotional labor is about. And I want to read it to you now. It is when the concepts of love and power have been contrasted to oppositions, so that love is identified as the resignation of power and power with the denial of love.
I need you to say it again.
The concepts of love and power have been contrasted to oppositions, so that love is identified as a resignation of power.
Like yielding power.
And power with the denial of love. So if
oh
you
my God,
imagine
taking
this,
away love.
Yes.
Just power.
Yes. And
Okay.
so a people who study emotional labor and psychology have said that the power of patriarchy at its core, the Barbie message, is the management of women's work, which is why it's beneficial to make it seem like anything that we do isn't that big of a deal.
Whoa.
So like with emotional labor specifically, we're just assumed to do that. We are primed to do that. We have the motherly instinct. We're the divine feminine. We are just, quote, better at this emotional stuff, when that's really men's way of keeping power over our work. Because at its core, that's what the patriarchy is about, is power.
Of course.
And how do you maintain power? It's that you're able to micromanage what work women are and aren't allowed to do.
I do think there is something, and I'm speaking out of my depth, but like that, like women have the burden of creating life and like truly creating life.
Truly.
Like beyond dropping a load in someone, they have to like nurture that load. And then like men love going to war and killing.
Yeah.
So I do see this in women, like defend life, nurture life, take care of life, and like men are like, no, like
I'm not supposed to do that.
Gold.
Gold rush.
Yeah.
Wagons.
Wow. Okay.
So where do we see it, right? Like what is exactly emotional labor in different scenarios? So the top most common example that we see emotional labor is in family dynamics. So women are accountable for their own feelings,
Yes.
but also the feelings of others.
Oh my God.
Women are expected to ceaselessly put their energy, effort, and time in forging a pleasant emotional world for their family. So they are not only building connections with an environment for others, but they're also building activities for others to enjoy. So think of this as like a mom always setting up the play dates, a mom taking care of their kids, driving them to soccer practices, making sure they have friends, right? Like your dad's not like, are you making enough friends at school?
Right.
It's like your mom being like, you need to be a well-rounded, adjusted individual.
And always putting her needs second.
Correct.
If not last.
So that's like the most common place that we see it. The dynamic disparagement is
the mom does the emotional stuff.
Yeah. Next is in relationships. So women are trained to manage volatile moods and tempers and chronically put other person's experiences and desires above their own. And when I heard this, I was like, damn, I've been telling myself that I'm a people pleaser. But the thing about being a people pleaser is that like you enjoy it. You're a people person. You're a people pleaser. I don't like it. At its core, I have fucking hated being a people pleaser, which means I'm not a people pleaser. I've just been trained to think that I am, that I'm supposed to be the shoulder for someone to vomit on, that I'm supposed to be the one that's always listening. Do you hear how I'm getting revved up again?
Yeah, you're gripping the mic like it's Kelly.
I'm like, oh my God, even me, the feminist of all iconic moments of boss bitch, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Still allow myself to be the emotional labor queen in relationships.
I mean, you've done it with the men in your life for sure.
It's a pattern. So then in work, we often see it where women above their actual job descriptions are then pushed into the role of like mother of the office or like sex pot of the office, where it's often for the enjoyment of others, but rarely are they enjoying it actually themselves. Like women don't like mothering at work when they also have to do it at home.
Right.
We see it online where the intellect, morality, and humanity of a woman's expression and how they present themselves is seen as like, how do they actually make other people feel with their image and presentation online? Rather than like, what do they actually feel and think?
Sure.
So it's often like, you're making her feel bad about herself, or like you're making my man uncomfortable.
Sure.
Rather than like, yeah, but what about what I feel and think?
This is the Barbie speech.
This
is
the
wild.
fucking Barbie episode.
Where she's like, we're supposed to look attractive, but not too attractive because then we're a distraction. Or we're a threat to other women. And we're supposed to be supportive, but not too supportive. And it's like, yeah, there's just no winning.
And it all, like, what they have found is that it all begins in childhood, where even in like real life, we're told to smile or do this or show up or play mom or play house. And if we're not doing it right, we're threatened with like punishment or even harm. Like if some guy on the street is catcalling you and you don't respond in the right way.
That's why girls just go along with things. Like, yeah.
Thanks. Or like a guy hitting on you at the bar. You're like, grateful.
Yeah. Booked in blessed.
Yes. So the kicker to all of this too is that like I have a bunch of stats I'm going to read you about women's emotional labor, but so many of the studies of emotional labor have been done by men in regards to academia and not even how it plays into our lives outside of our jobs.
So they're like, these male professors are ground down by their students or something?
They're basically saying men have been in charge of all of the research of emotional labor, and they only research it as it pertains to women. To women in their jobs. They're not even really studying the emotional labor of women at home and in relationships.
How do things like this get by? Or is it just like, you know what I mean?
Do you see why I was so angry? I was just like, fuck.
Why? Like, what what learned person is like, yeah,
Yeah, well,
makes sense.
My favorite stat is that women weren't legally required to be included in medical trials, including under birth control, until the year 1994. I know. Now we're gonna play a game. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Housekeeping. No, it's not. So now I'm gonna give you some stats and see if you can guess what year it happened.
Okay.
What year were only white women finally allowed to vote?
2001. I'm just kidding. Wait, this is women's suffrage, right?
I don't know.
Let's say 1922.
Close, 1920.
Oh my God, that was very good of me.
Okay, but when did we actually pass a law that included all women with the rights to vote, not just white women?
1941. 54. 68.
65.
Ew. That makes me want to take a fucking shower and then change countries.
Fucking right? Like, this is so recent. It's like, people born then in your life.
Yeah.
Like, that was the year my mother was born. Jesus.
1960 what?
No, 56. She was born.
Oh my God. Okay. I was like, damn, your mom is fucking young.
No. Okay. So in 1950, what amount of women represented the workforce? So like
14%. Yeah.
A little more.
22.
33%. We represented a third of the workforce, as opposed to now we represent over half of the workforce.
Ew. Wait, why?
Because women got education, dog, and we started taking over the workforce.
Good for us.
What year were women finally allowed to get a credit card without the supervision of a man?
Oh no, it's gonna be something chilling like 81
Yesterday.
or something. I'm gonna say 68.
Close, 64.
Okay.
When did birth control become legal?
Legal?
Uh-huh.
Was it illegal? 78.
72.
Okay. I'm very impressed with myself.
I am too, actually, because you hate women. And what year were women legally allowed to get abortions? This isn't a trick question.
Abortions, I'm gonna say, God, it's gonna be 86.
So 73 until 2022 when they reversed Roe v. Wade, and now it's illegal in some states.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The way in which we are
Backwards.
one of the worst written episodes of Handmaid's Tale.
We did it to ourselves.
Crazy.
So what percentage of Fortune 500 CEOs were women in 2022?
4%.
Close, 6.
Yeah.
So that's insane still. That only 6%.
That honestly, when I said 4%, I was like, it's going to be 2. Yeah.
So blah, 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 blah. So some common myths about emotional labor, right? I kind of touched on this, is that like we're like mother nurturing souls inherently because we create life, and then we have this divine feminine.
But it's like, what about Kelly?
Fucking Kelly has zero divine nature in her body.
No divinity.
She should not be procreating at all. And like men in the past have been like, why are we labeling women being really good at emotions as like a bad thing? Like you guys are just inherently blessed that you have access to your emotions.
You're good at not driving.
Well, the studies show they have done research where men have only showed up to the same amount of emotional labor that women did when there was money compensation involved. So if they were being paid to do emotional labor, like listen and have empathy.
Oh, yeah, duh. Men suck.
Yeah, duh. Men suck. Okay, so I know this has been all very depressing to listen to.
I mean, as a man, I'm fine.
But don't worry, I've written down a couple things
That give us hope.
That give us hope. So how do we spot it, right? Like if you're listening to this and you're just as enraged as I am, and you're also like, uh-oh, am I doing too much emotional labor? You probably feel it in denial. So a good way of telling if you are doing too much emotional labor is that in the relationship you're thinking of, so whether it be your spouse, your partner, lover, coworker, boss, whatever, when things aren't good, do you feel exhausted by them? So are you like drained, tie, fucking, what's the word? Irritable.
Sure.
It's probably because you're over
Wow.
doing your emotional labor.
Wow. There's definitely people in my life when I think about them, I'm like, ugh.
Yes. The emotional labor is uneven there.
Yeah.
Also, are you afraid of stopping this relationship or support with this person because you're afraid of what they might think or feel? So a lot of people are like, well, if I don't do this, they're going to be so hurt. Or if I'm not there for this person.
Yeah, there's this thing where I feel like I am more emotionally mature. So I'm supposed to like kind of hold their hand a little bit or like give them space.
Right.
Or like, it's not, they're great. You love this person. They're not, they're not doing this on purpose. But it's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, don't I deserve to be like working with people who are at the same level as me?
Yeah. And so if you find yourself being like, well, if I tried to confront them or set a boundary, am I too worried about how they might think and feel? You've been conditioned to believe that like their feelings are more important than yours. Another one is my favorite is, are they using weaponized incompetence? So when you task them with something, for instance, can you take out the garbage? They fuck it up so that they don't have to do it again. So I can't, this trash can doesn't fucking,
it's so
the
weird.
thing doesn't do it. And last time I took out the trash, I did it on a Tuesday instead of the Thursday when trash day actually was. And you yelled at me, so I'm not going to do it again.
Yikes.
Weaponized incompetence.
So I never did those examples, but I definitely, I think, used to performatively be bad at things so people would do things for me.
That's just smart.
Okay.
Also, you're a gay man, you're fine.
Yeah.
I thought this was really interesting. Do you see tasks as if you don't do them, it's a penalty, but if they do it, it's a credit? So like, do you find yourself often being like, good job, I need to positively reinforce them so that they keep doing it. But if you don't, it's a penalty against you or like expected of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I see you like thinking about it.
Of course.
So a couple steps to reversing this. Number one, stop justifying it to yourself. That is the number one way.
Oh, just be aware that it's happening.
Like, stop being like, but well, maybe I'm not,
or like yeah, like maybe I'm being too hard on them.
Yeah, that maybe I'm just being there for them or a good friend. It's like, no, bitch, stop justifying it.
Like,
you fucking know. Realize that it might not be as positive as an attribute as you've been telling yourself it is to be emotionally there for someone. So for a lot of people, it's like, well, this is how I maintain my relationship with my mother, or like how I'm able to hang out with this person is like, okay, but when you really look at it at its core, it's like me realizing I've been training myself to be a people pleaser. I don't actually fucking enjoy being a people pleaser. Is like, is it actually as positive of an attribute for your friendship, for your relationship, for your family?
Like long term.
And another thing to start doing is to actually accept gratitude for your work. So instead of just being like, oh, of course I do that for you. Or like, yeah, duh,
it's the
you're
bare
my
minimum.
Boyfriend. You're my da-da-da.
You don't have to thank me.
Yeah. So start accepting gratitude for your work.
Oh, I like that one.
And then another big one was to start setting boundaries. So boundaries are good if you realize also too that this comes into play with jobs. So especially if you work in the field of, say, like, ooh, shit, my iPad just scrolled in a weird way. So if you work in jobs such as nursing, healthcare, flight attendants, education, retail, hospitality, service industry stuff, is to stop equating your identity with your job. So like, how much does this actually matter to my life?
Oh my God.
And start doing the bare minimum.
When I was in service industry and I had to stop, I was giving people my genuine energy, like my genuine self. And when it was good, it was good. But when it was bad, it was soul sucking. It absolutely depleted me. It made me so bummed and sad. And anyway, I get that.
So setting boundaries. Are you too tied to your job? You can start delegating. So there's a really great book I read called Essentialism by Greg McEwen, which talks about like working harder, not smarter. So actually someone that like delegates rather than taking it all on themselves. Like you have to find a way to break yourself out of that habit of being like, well, I'd rather just do it so it gets done right.
Yeah.
Rather than actually letting someone else do something and try it and fail without it being like, I'd just rather do it so it gets done and done right. Educate yourself. So come into these facts about knowing even about emotional labor so that you can like combat someone who says this isn't real. Like if your partner's like, you're just this person. And it's like, well, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
And then obviously reevaluating any relationships that like don't understand your bringing up of that you feel unbalanced in the emotional labor in the relationship. Fun fact. Well, these aren't so fun. Latino families have shown the most distance in emotional labor between a man and a woman. So like a husband and a wife, a father and a mother.
The mom takes on the most and the husband takes on the least.
In a study shown. And relationships with the least emotional labor disparity is interracial relationships.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Because they both have to put up with each other's BS. Like they're both coming from very different places. So it's like, you got to meet me in the middle here and take some of this on yourself.
It feels like also there's like a sense of allyship already built into the relationship against the world, against you.
It's them against the world.
However, despite either of these facts, it is still shown that women give 37% more to emotional and household labors per day than men. As he yawns.
And they get paid less.
And men get... On average, the difference in time is key. The difference in leisure time is key. On average, men get 49 minutes of extra leisure per day compared to women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all be chilling with your balls out.
Dude. That's, that's a bummer. I love, though, that you gave tips for how to, like, spot it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what exactly... what we can implement like right now besides like killing some guys.
I feel like I could probably do another episode on this once I finish this book I'm reading.
Oh, sure.
Because right now I'm in the shits of it where it's just here's how bad it is.
This is not good.
This is not good. But hey, do you feel like your relationship is unbalanced? I don't feel like the emotional labor of this relationship is unbalanced.
I feel great with you. I don't feel drained at all when I think about you. I feel very inspired.
Same. Find yourself a partner who helps you feel re-energized, that inspires you.
Capable, willing, excited.
Yes. Listen, like I'm excited when you come to me with a problem. I'm like, he cares what I think.
Yeah, of course.
So like have more.
Yeah.
Confidants, did you like this episode? Do you feel exhausted by it? What are you going to do about your emotional labor? Sound off in the comments, sis.
Yeah.
Zach, what do you have to promote?
Confident Bottoms, please come to see me live.
Where?
Chicago, Zanies, early September. But check out my website, ZachNaomiTowers.com for tour dates.
Oh my God, we have 3 beds left at our Don't Panic retreat. Go book them now.
Exciting.
You can stay in the room with a friend, so it's cheaper for both of you. So while we have 3 beds, I guess that still means we have like 6 spots, I guess.
Cool.
Don'tPanicRetreat.com, happening October 5th through 9th in Malibu. I just got a box for our gift bags, our swag bags, a box of vibrators and journals. You know you're doing the brand right when that shows up to your house. And that's it, confidants. We'll see you next week. Bye.